Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. Interest subsidy for middle-income group home buyers under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. 4% benefit on loans up to 9 lakh rupees for houses with 160 square meters carpet area. 3% subsidy for loans up to 12 lakh rupees for houses with carpet area of 200 square meters. Prime Minister Modi to review progress of government's flagship schemes, spell out the agenda for the last year of the current NDA government at a Council of Ministers meeting today. Prime Minister to also chair Union Cabinet meeting scheduled for today. Counting starts for the Jayanagar Assembly constituency in Karnataka. 55% turnout was recorded in the election that was countermanded due to the death of BJP candidate B.N. Vijay Kumar in May this year. Four BSF personnel martyred, 3 others injured as the Pakistan Rangers violate ceasefire yet again. Incident along international border in Jammu and Kashmir's Sabha district. Violations continue despite India-Pakistan DGMOs agreeing to fully implement 2003 ceasefire pact last month. And India likely to get 6 Apache attack choppers. US Congress to approve the $930 million deal. That is in addition to the 2015 order for 22 helicopters. Our top story this morning, 4 personnel of the Border Security Force of the BSF have martyred in Pakistani firing in Chamlial sector of Jammu and Kashmir's Sabha district last night. Pakistani Rangers fired unprovoked and targeted the BSF post. The BSF troops retaliated effectively. The martyred include 1 assistant commandant, 1 sub-inspector and 2 soldiers of the BSF. 3 other soldiers have also been injured and have been admitted to the Government Medical College in Jammu. Now, DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, SP Vaid, has tweeted regarding the incident and said that our heart goes to those who lost their dear ones. Remember, last month, thousands of people residing along the IB in Jammu, Kathua and Sabha districts had to flee their homes following intense shelling from Pakistan between 15 to 23rd of May, which left 12 people dead. The major ceasefire violation by Pakistan comes nearly a week after the top-level military officers of both the countries agreed to implement the ceasefire pact of 2003 in letter and spirit. The state has witnessed a spurt in Pakistani shelling and firing along the IB and the LOC this year. Over 700 incidents of shelling have been reported till 7th of June, which left 38 people, including 18 security personnel dead and scores others injured. On to the other top story of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair a meeting with his Council of Ministers today. He will review the progress of his government's flagship schemes and the agenda of 2018 before the general elections next year. All the ministers have been asked to attend the meeting, which is likely to discuss the issue of farmer distress and the government's efforts to provide relief to them through various initiatives announced in the budget. Other flagship schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Startup Funding Scheme Mudra Yojana will also be reviewed in the meeting. The Prime Minister will also chair a meeting with his cabinet today. And in a major boost to affordable housing, the government raised the carpet area of houses eligible for subsidy under the credit-linked subsidy scheme by 33% for the middle-income group segment. The carpet area of a house has now been increased to 260 square meters from 120 square meter for MIG1, which comprises of families with household income between 6 lakh to 12 lakh rupees. And the carpet area has been increased from 150 square meters to 200 square meters in case of MIG2, which comprises of families with annual income between 12 lakh to 18 lakh rupees. The new rules will be effective from 1st of January 2017. Now, under the credit-linked subsidy scheme, each beneficiary can avail subsidy up to 2.35 lakh rupees on purchase of a house. Well, the decision is aimed at expanding the beneficiaries in the Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities under the government's Housing for All scheme. And the government is considering a proposal to raise the pension limit under Atal Pension Yojana to up to 10,000 rupees per month. The existing slab of up to 5,000 rupees. Now, the Joint Secretary in the Department of Financial Services has said that there is a need to increase the value of a pension under Atal Pension Yojana. He has said that there has been a lot of feedback from the market asking for higher pension amounts, as many people feel that 5,000 rupees at the age of 60 years is now not sufficient. Now, Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority Chairperson Hemant G. Contractor said that the proposal has been sent to the Finance Ministry with an aim to increase the subscriber base of the Atal Pension Yojana. And after the government received no bidders for the proposed strategic stake sale of Air India, the government is re-examining its disinvestment process for the debt-laden airlines. Now, according to media reports, the government is considering to include a clause requiring a minority stake in Air India. Quoting a senior official in the Ministry of Finance, the report also said that the government is open to re-examine its stake in the airlines, as it does not intend to insist on keeping 24% of the company. Remember, in March, the government had announced its plan to sell up to 76% of the carrier, but it received no bidders on the last day of its auction in the month of May. The ailing airline's total debt stood at over 48,000 crore rupees at the end of March 2017. And the retail inflation continued its upward trajectory and received a 4-month high of 4.87% in May compared to 4.58% in the month of April. Now, May was the 7th straight month when the inflation crossed the RBI's medium-term target of 4%. The previous high in retail inflation was this January at 5.7%. In May 2017, it was at a low of 2.18%. Meanwhile, the industrial output also continued its upward trend, rising to 4.9% in April compared to a 5-month low of 4.4% that it hit in March. The jump was largely due to pickup in manufacturing, which grew 5.2% in April compared with a 4.4% rise in the month of March. On to some other news, President Ramnath Kovind will embark on a 3-nation tour to Greece, Suriname and Cuba from 16th to 22nd of this month. Now, on the on the first leg of his visit, the president will leave for Athens on Saturday. He will be accompanied by a large delegation, including MOS for Steel Vishnu Diosai, and President Kovind will meet Greek president there during his visit. He is also slated to meet his Greek counterpart Alexis Tsipras and the leader of opposition as well. President Kovind will leave for Suriname on the 19th of this month, and he will hold discussions with the president there. A number of agreements in the areas of health and medicine, IT, Ayurveda are scheduled to be signed. And on the last leg of his visit, the president will be in Cuba from 21st to 22nd of June. He will also hold a wide range of discussions with his Cuban counterpart. Meanwhile, agreements in the areas of biotechnology, research and education in homeopathic medicine, traditional system of medicine and medicinal plants is also likely to be signed during the visit. More than 1,200 nominations have been received so far for the Padma Awards given for the work of distinction and exceptional achievements in different fields. Already, 1,654 registrations have been made on the website, out of which 1,207 nominations have been completed since the nominations opened on 1st of May this year. The last day for the online nominations for the Padma Awards is 15th of September this year, and the awards will be announced on the occasion of Republic Day 2019. The nominations for the Padma Awards, which has 3 categories, the Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri, are being received online on the Padma portal this year. And concerned over the quality of food being served in the trains to the passengers, the Railway Ministry will soon propose to install CCTV cameras inside the train kitchens, and that footage will be put out in public domain for everyone to see. In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha television, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal said that his government is committed to maintain better hygiene standards when it comes to quality of food and bed linen that is given to the passengers.
Quality of food which is being served, the kind of linen which is provided to the passengers. How is the government really ensuring this quality?
We're bringing in better hygiene standards in the kitchens. And at some stage, I have in my mind that I'll put CCTV cameras on those kitchens and put that feed into public domain.
Okay,
so
that's
that
a brilliant
all
idea.
of you will be able to monitor what's happening in those kitchens.
And talking about the endless train delays because of the winter fog, Goyal said that very soon the trains will not have to depend on the red, yellow and green signals, as the modern high-quality signalling system will ensure that the trains run smoothly and on time despite heavy fog.
Come December and people in India dread travelling in trains, given the fact that the trains crawl in December and January.
We are now looking at introducing modern signalling systems in the Indian Railways, which will ensure that trains talk to each other through technology and will no more be dependent on the red, green, yellow lights.
Well, you can watch the entire interview with Piyush Goyal on Wednesday, 10 p.m. on our program To The Point. So don't forget to tune in. And with that, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. Well, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's health condition continues to be stable according to a release issued by AIIMS on Tuesday night. The former Prime Minister is under close observation and is responding well to the treatment. The 93-year-old leader was admitted to the hospital on Monday morning with the urinary tract infection. The former Prime Minister underwent dialysis on Monday and he continues to remain in the ICU of the Cardiothoracic Centre of the AIIMS hospital. A host of political leaders, including former Prime Ministers Manmohan Singh and H.D. Deve Gowda, visited the ailing leader yesterday. And let's get all the updates. My colleague Tipu is joining us live from outside the AIIMS hospital. Tipu, what is the update that you can give us? We understand that former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's condition is said to be stable. What more can you tell us? Tipu, can you hear me? All right. There seems to be a problem with connecting with our reporter there. But the statement that was issued by the hospital last night said that former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's health condition continues to be stable and he is under close observation and is responding well to treatment. Remember, the 93-year-old leader was admitted to All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi on Monday morning with a urinary tract infection. And on Monday, he also went to dialysis. And we understand that he continues to be in the ICU of the Cardiothoracic Centre of AIIMS. And a host of political leaders have already been visiting the former Prime Minister. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, went to meet him earlier, and this was followed by a number of other political leaders to pay a visit to him. Of course, so we'll keep getting you all the updates on that story. Meanwhile, counting of votes will take place in Karnataka's Jayanagar Assembly constituency today. About 55% polling was recorded on the day of the election. Polling for Jayanagar was countermanded following the death of BJP candidate B.N. Vijay Kumar in May this year. The BJP has nominated B.N. Vijay Kumar's younger brother B.N. Prahlad as its candidate, who is pitted against Soumya Reddy of the Congress party, who is backed also by the JDS. A total of 19 candidates were in the fray in the constituency, which has over 2 lakh voters. And a special court in Mumbai on Tuesday issued a non-bailable warrant against a diamond merchant Nirav Modi and his family members in the over 13,000 crore rupees Punjab National Bank fraud case. Last week, the Enforcement Directorate had moved an application before the court to issue warrants against the accused persons, charging them under various sections of the Indian Penal Code and also under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The CBI on Monday had approached Interpol also, seeking red corner notices against Nirav Modi and his uncle Mehul Choksi in the scam after the UK confirmed Nirav Modi's presence in the country to the Indian authorities. 62 people have been arrested so far in Assam in connection with the last week's lynching of 2 youth in Karbi Anglong area of the state. Now, they have been arrested for their involvement either in recording the lynching on their mobile phones or circulating the video clip on social media with statements and comments to incite hatred between the two communities. On Friday, 2 men were pulled out of their vehicle and they were beaten to death by a group of villagers who suspected them to be child lifters. The crackdown on the misuse of social media was launched by the police after initial investigations suggested that the messages posted on social media about child lifters entering the state led to the lynching episode. The Assam government has also announced to introduce an awareness program in all development blocks and panchayats in the wake of the incidents triggered by rumours and superstition. And 10 people were killed and several others were injured due to lightning strike triggered by heavy monsoon in West Bengal. Heavy rains lashed various parts of West Bengal yesterday. The Met Department has also predicted heavy to very heavy rain in the region in the next 24 hours as well. The fishermen have been advised against venturing into the sea over the next 2 days. And over 1,000 people have also been evacuated to safer places due to flood-like situation in Azawal district of Mizoram. Heavy downpour in the region has resulted in schools declaring holidays for the next 2 days. And the Met Department has also predicted thunderstorm and lightning in parts of Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha as well. Meanwhile, the national capital continues to endure hot and humid conditions with the maximum temperature settling at 41.7 degrees Celsius. The highest temperature was recorded at 43.8 degrees Celsius in Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. Let's take a look at the weather conditions across India. On to the other top story. The United States government has approved a deal to sell the Indian military 6 AH-64E Apache attack helicopters for $930 million. The agreement has been passed to the US Congress for approval. Boeing and Indian partner Tata have begun to produce Apache fuselages at a plant in India, but today's approval concerns a direct sale of a finished product from the US manufacturers. The order of 6 helicopters is in addition to an order of 22 AH-64E Apache helicopters in India that was placed in September 2015. Deliveries to the initial helicopters are scheduled to begin in 2019. In addition to the aircrafts, the contract includes 9 vision sensors, GPS guidance and hundreds of Hellfire anti-armor and Strange air-to-air missiles. The US State Department said that the choppers will provide an increase in India's defensive capabilities to counter ground armored threats. Let's get you all the international news. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has accepted President Donald Trump's invitation to visit Washington. Well, this comes after the two leaders met for a historic summit in Singapore on Tuesday, signing a document committing the U.S. To unspecified security guarantees in exchange for a denuclearized Korean peninsula. Now, KCNA news agency said that Kim had invited Trump to visit Pyongyang at a convenient time, and Trump had also invited Kim Jong-un to the United States. The KCNA said that the two top leaders gladly accepted each other's invitation. Trump's summit with Kim was the first ever meeting between a North Korean leader and a sitting U.S. president. And a short while ago, Donald Trump also thanked Kim Jong-un, saying that the North Korean leader had taken the first bold step towards a bright new future for his people. He added that the meet proves that the real change was possible. Trump, in fact, went on to say that the world has taken a big step back from potential nuclear catastrophe, and Chairman Kim has before him the opportunity to be remembered as a leader who ushered in a glorious new era of security and prosperity for his citizens. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has also measured allies of its ironclad security commitments after President Donald Trump cancelled its Korean military exercises. And earlier on Tuesday, Singapore played host to the first ever meeting of the leaders of the United States and North Korea in 70 years. In the meeting, Kim Jong-un affirmed his firm commitment to complete a denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, and the U.S. gave North Korea security guarantees. And after the meeting, Donald Trump said that the U.S. is prepared to start a new history with North Korea.
A historic handshake that ended a 70-year drought in diplomatic ties between the U.S. and North Korea. The meeting began a new era of strategic ties between the two countries, with both U.S. President Donald Trump and the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un agreeing to work towards complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula in return for security guarantees from the U.S. Kim Jong-un reaffirmed his commitment to complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. Trump, on the other hand, promised to provide security guarantees to North Korea. He also said the U.S. will end joint military exercises with South Korea. Both sides also committed to recovering prisoners of war and missing in action, including immediate repatriation of those already identified. They also called to build a lasting and robust peace regime in the Korean peninsula.
Both want to do something. We both are going to do something. And we have developed a very special bond. So people are going to be very impressed. People are going to be very happy. And we're going to take care of a very big and very dangerous problem for the world. And I want to thank Chairman Kim.
오늘 역사적인 이 만남에서 지난 과거를 덮고 새로운 출발을 알리는 그 역사적인 문건에 서명을 하게 됩니다. 세상은 아마 중대한 변화를 보게 될 것입니다.
Singapore played host to the first ever summit between Trump and Kim, a summit that was keenly watched the world over. 2 rounds of meetings were held between Trump and Kim at the Capella Hotel in Singapore's Sentosa Island. The first one was a one-on-one meeting that went on for 45 minutes. It was followed by delegation-level talks. Both leaders also had lunch together amidst the meetings. Donald Trump described the meeting as fantastic, honest, direct and productive. He also called Kim very smart, adding that the United States is prepared to start a new history with North Korea. Trump, however, said sanctions on North Korea for its nuclear test will remain for now.
Well, it's going to be achieved by having a lot of people there. And as we develop a certain trust, and we think we have done that, Secretary Pompeo has been really doing a fantastic job, his staff, everybody. As we do that, we're going to have a lot of people there, and we're going to be working with them on a lot of other things. But this is complete denuclearization.
The camaraderie was for all to see. Kim arriving 7 minutes early to show respect, while Trump wore a red tie, the color of the North Korean flag. The 71-year-old Trump said the summit worked out far better than expected and he has developed a very special bond with 34-year-old Kim. He also said that he will invite Kim to the White House at an appropriate time and will also visit Pyongyang. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And as the US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signed an agreement committing the two leaders to establish new ties, countries across the globe have also welcomed the meeting, calling it historic. More details in this report.
Various countries, including India, welcomed the talks Trump and Kim held in Singapore. The External Affairs Ministry said it hoped any resolution to the North Korean peninsula issue will address New Delhi's concerns about Pyongyang's proliferation linkages with India's neighborhood. China also welcomed the talks between the two nations. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said it will continue playing a constructive role in promoting the denuclearization on the Korean peninsula, and it is equally important to take into consideration security issues in North Korea.
那么解决这个核问题，一方面当然要实现无核化，而且是全面的无核化，同时，那么也要建立起半岛的和平机制，解决朝鲜方面的。
Meanwhile, South Korean President Moon Jae-in welcomed the outcome of the summit and called it a historic event that ended the last Cold War conflict. He praised Trump and Kim for their courage and determination.
우리에게 완전한 비핵화와 평화, 남북미 간의 새로운 시대를 열어주는 성공적인 회담이 되기를 국민들과 함께 간절히.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe welcomed the joint statement signed by Trump and Kim as a first step in the denuclearization of the North Korea.
北朝鮮には豊富な支援と勤勉な労働力があり、正しい道を歩めば、北朝鮮は明るい未来を描くことができます。今後とも北朝鮮に対して
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called it an important milestone and urged all those concerned to seize this momentous opportunity. He also offered UN help to achieve the goal of dismantling North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And well, that is all in this edition of news. But before we go, in the sports world, the World Cup fever has gripped the world as the event is set to kick off. The opening match between host Russia and Saudi Arabia will kick off in Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow tomorrow. So we leave you with these visuals. Thanks so much for watching.